call everybody. Well, this week I talked to close to 100 people on that call this week. I really hit it well because I was a little behind on it, and I really attacked it. So
this is Sunday night. This is formerly known as a power call, March 22nd of 2020.
And a lot of people sounded down, because of this virus, and they don't know what's going on. And as as we say almost every week, the majority of the people here are older. And I'm telling them, this is a good time now to catch up on reading. This is good, trying to at least get them something positive. But as I said in the email this morning, I was thinking about it, and most people here care a lot about each other in this society. We do care about our membership, and there's no better way of showing it than by telling you, but also by acting and giving you some direction, something maybe you haven't heard before. And I thought, well, why don't we just talk about tonight what we were talking about on the call this morning? We won't chip it in over talking to each other once in a while. That's okay, man, but we were getting the ideas out there and how we're handling this. And it started earlier in the week, too, because Karen sent me an email, and she must have read the same article that I read. And I really thought that was, one from Simon Black. And I read it, and I think about 2 days later, Karen sent me this email, and she had something in it from this, and I said, I know I heard that because I just read it too. So she was talking about working from home and the isolation that we have right now because of this virus. And then on this article, because she was talking about that too, and he said in 1665, Cambridge University closed because of the bubonic plague. Isaac Newton quarantined himself at his childhood home. It was the most productive time of his life. He discovered calculus and the laws of motion. And then she asked me a question. So that's what he did when he had this downtime, when he was isolated from other people. Then Karen had this great question at the end. And she says, how will you spend the next few weeks or months? Okay? And that got me thinking there, because I was starting to think there about tonight's call. And how are we going to spend these next few months and weeks? And then this call this morning, it's amazing how things just put itself together for you sometimes. And there's the idea right there. You might not even been looking for an idea or an answer, but yet there it is. So between Karen's email, between a couple other things that I talked to people about this week, and then this morning, and I was like saying, dummy, the universe is telling me, let's get everybody on this call tonight. And it seems like everybody's listening because we have a heck of a lot of people on this call right now, which is absolutely fantastic. And I expect you here every week now.
Absolutely.
Because we do things a little different here on the Sunday call. We aren't just right out of the book all the time. But if something's going on in the world, and again, none of us humanity has never seen anything like this. 140 countries have this virus. That's basically the world. I think there's 150-some countries altogether, if I'm not mistaken. So 140 of them do. So we are all going through this together. So as everybody was talking this morning, that's what got me to do this call. And I think it's a great idea. I'm going to have them all come up soon and introduce themselves. But I want to bring up Tim first because Tim, this call is different tonight. So Tim, I want you to start the call with your song or any song that you choose for tonight. How are you?
Hanging in, Charlie. Thanks.
Good.
Yes, I trust you can say the same. You haven't mutated into something you shouldn't have.
No, I'm getting used to the third arm, so it's really working out. I can do more things.
Oh, great, man! That just gets you right here, doesn't it? Well, anyhow, I got that. I got that email just like everybody else, and I did some thinking. And there's so much that's going to be on this call, and I wanted to say something in as little time as possible. So how do I do that? And there was this song.
Saying it now.
There was this song that came to mind. This is a new one. You'll never have heard it, but I'll share it with you.
All right.
Because like Eisenhower said, the important things are seldom urgent, and the urgent things are seldom important. This virus and all the panic and the fear and the anger will pass. But if we do what we're supposed to, we won't. And those things that are really important to you, whether it's your essence, your dreams, or a significant other perhaps, they will always call, unless you snuff them out. Anyhow, sometimes it's a struggle, but we can get through, and we must. This song is called Blood. Blood on the track, blood in the mud, in the steps I leave. I cried the tears, still fight the fears, and it hurts to breathe. I'm left behind, doubt in my mind, how can I break through? Time passed me by, does it even matter why I still try to? Then in my mind's eye I see you smiling and free. You call and beckon to me. This is how life should be. I crash and burn, turn after turn, and the voices rain down on me so angrily. Then they taunt my brain. I would do good, do all I could, so life turns around. Nowhere to go, do all I know, so I at last break out. 'Cause in my mind's eye I see you smiling and free. You call and beckon to me. This is how life should be. Hey, it's got to be true. It's sunny and warm somewhere. I've got to keep on until I get over there. It's true, life can be cruel, but there's also good to see. And I do when I think of you. Thanks for reminding me.
I want you to listen to tonight's call about their special event in September and what they're talking about, the coronavirus and all. And voice your opinion about what they discussed tonight. Please keep it on topic. I've been deleting a lot of posts because some of you guys that have been posting are not staying on topic. So I tear you down and I report you harassing. So keep it on topic. Otherwise, I'll tear you down and or do something. I know I have the option of blocking you too, so that it may come into play here if you don't keep it on topic. So you judge and you tell me what you think about the call tonight. Tell me what you think about their event. Is it worth $250? And give me your thoughts about the coronavirus and what's going on. Is it a bunch of hype? Is the news media just hyping it up? or are the politicians doing it? Is the mayor doing it? Is Portland doing it? Is your city doing it? Is it just a bunch of hype, or is this bogus? Express your thoughts underneath the screen here, and I'd be happy to read them, but please keep it on topic. Thank you very much. We're going to go back to the Sunday night, formerly known as the Powers Call. This is Big V. This is Sunday night, March 22nd of 2020. Thank you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Deb.
That's what we need.
Nice
People
call.
smiling back at each other. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, that's if we see people. Right now, it's hard to smile back and forth at each other because we're not seeing anybody. It's a strange, strange world we live in.
FaceTime.
And this is, yeah, we should be doing more of that. I'd like to bring up all the people on the committee, so everybody raise your hand, start two. I think all of you are on.
I'll be frank with you. I'm a little suspicious with this call tonight, so I'm just going to tell you I have some red flags up in my head right now.
Not everybody, please.
Yeah,
Martha's here.
There's Martha.
Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who are we? Are
I
we
don't know
missing
who
anybody?
Georgia is, but
Georgia, lower your hand, please, or I will. You have time later to talk. Anyway, I'm going to bring you all up.
no, that's all of it.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's start off. Juanita, say hello. Introduce
Hi,
yourself.
everyone. Hi, I'm Juanita. Hi, Charlie. Hi, Sharon. Hi, everyone. How?
Hi.
Hi.
Larry, say hello.
Hey, hello everybody. Charlie, Karen. Welcome
Hi,
to
guys.
the
How are you, Larry?
civilization. I'm great.
Yes.
Good to be.
And we have Sage. Are you there, Sage? Unmute, Sage.
I'm here, guys. Sorry,
There you go.
I'm here.
That's all right.
Charlie, Karen, Juanita, Blair, just nice to be back with you guys after
Yeah,
today's
it's-
call.
Today's call just set the whole day. I tell you, it was great.
Yeah,
Say hi,
exactly
say hi
what I
to
thought.
Brenda. Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hey,
Brenda.
Brenda.
Hey, Brenda.
Hey Brenda.
And then we have Martha.
Hi, everyone. Good to be on the
Hi,
call.
Martha.
Hi. Hi, Steve. Hello.
That is the summit. That is the committee for the summit. And
That
we were all on that call this morning trying to figure out how to get on it, but we got on it. That was a little strange. The court, I mean, if that was a call for the
That was
seven
fun.
of us and we had no idea, it was. I mean, it's
That was the first
amazing
time I ever
what
did
you
that.
do. Yeah, I mean, we wanted to talk to each other, and nothing was going to stop us. So if the technology is not working, we'll figure out another way. I mean, I had my carrier pigeon ready to go out the window, to get everybody on the phone. Yeah. But I'm sitting back and I'm saying, we will figure this out, and we did. That's the joy of talking with other people who are integrated like yourself. That's what we have to start to rely on, especially in times like these. What are you going to do with your time off? Yeah, So basically, all of us are going to talk tonight, just like we did this morning. There was no set plan or anything. We just were exchanging ideas, exchanging integrations, speaking from the heart, and that's the whole key to this. So, but I'll
Yeah,
let
you know,
Karen
Charlie.
talk a little while. Go ahead, Larry.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, that was a great call this morning, as you pointed out. and I got a text right away from State saying, "Hey, Charlie's got another number," and then I told him, I said, "Well, just dial the number, see if you can get in." So I went back and I got in after about 5 attempts, and then I saw he had sent a text saying, Charlie said, "Oh, he has another number if we can't get in here." So then we came up with the idea, well, why don't we call this person, that person called that person, and next thing you know, we was all in there together. You know, it wasn't the normal way we connect, to put it that way. You know,
You did it
No.
so fast.
Nope, not at all.
Too. No.
yeah. You know,
Well, the
but
connection
the thing
just-
was, you know, we came together to talk about our plan for rescheduling this big event in San Diego. And, you know, it started talking about how we're going to move that forward. But it also moved toward us talking about keeping our vibration to a high level and connecting with this material that we've all studied. It all has prepared us for this. And this is very exciting because, you know, it's a chance for you to vibrate at a high level. I don't care how old you are, where you're from, or who you are. If you or Neil think you are special, it's a special time for all of us. And I think it's a time for us to reconnect, as we did this morning, and we was having fun talking about this thing because fear is crippling. If you know that fear is just an acronym for false evidence appearing real, we wasn't buying into that because we think outside the box. And that has changed us. And when you vibrate in another dimension, then you can't get absorbed by the anti-civilization. You know, like Joan of Arc, you can't get connected to that because you're outside of that. You're looking to create something new and different. And that was really what we was doing this morning.
So powerful.
And you know, by being home now, just think that if you ain't making babies, you can sure be creating your life and how you want your
We'll
life.
do both.
Really. Yeah, do both, you know.
That's Neil.
Do both. That's yeah.
Integration.
Yeah. But you know, go ahead, say.
No, I just wanted to add, Lara, that totally, you know, took us to the next level starting this morning, and just so many things that were said. And another thing that I remembered was how many wealthy people come out of these things. Wealthy people, or successful people, or people, they're vibrating at a different level, and I feel that way exactly with all of us. It's just we're studying this information and not thinking about. We're always thinking how, you know, what we're creating, what's currently being worked on, what's the next step, and things to get in place. It's almost like we're too busy to worry. Sometimes I feel, which keeps your vibration high. You know, your vibration staying at a high level, and you know, anything comes in the way. And we've had challenges sometimes getting on a Sunday planning call together, or we've got challenges with lining up things totally with a hotel. But it's just, we keep, you know, we integrate right around it. And the material's all there. It shows, it talks about that, you know. Jeremiah, I remember when he was walking into that burning building and his face is like falling off because it's so hot. But he's still, you know, step by step walking, and Jake is just amazed. He's like, how can this guy stand this? And it just gives you so much strength. And then being around you guys, it just, because we're all, you know, part of the same teaching, this kung fu school. You're all black belts, and it just, you know, makes me feel like I gotta keep up as a black belt. And no time for the other stuff.
No, but yeah, because we had some great conversations this morning, and people were saying what they're going to do with maybe, you know, some of us have some extra time. So it's like, I think it's not affecting me as much as far as time, But in fact, yeah, it is affecting me because now when I'm calling people in the afternoon, there's more people home because so now I'm talking to more people.
They're gonna be at home.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's home now. It's like, geez, usually I start calling about half the people aren't home, but I'm leaving messages, and a lot of them call back. But it's just the other day, it's like I was exhausted by the time I was done because somewhere everybody. I think 18 out of the 20 people I called were home, and I was like, gee, this is wow. I never get that rate before, So, but as me and Karen was talking this week and emailing back and forth, Karen, just give them briefly what you've been doing with some of this extra time that you had.
I've been digging into some of Frank R. Wallace's material on Black Hat and White Hat, and I loved it because I used to do this all the time, especially with the Prime Lit call, and unfortunately my schedule and time had been designated for other things, and when we got started back on the study guide call that Charlie has, then I got back into studying, and I love to do it. I love to play with my child of the past, and so we had a question from someone on one of the other calls that I go on, and so it got me thinking, and so I started digging in, and I was emailing Charlie back and forth on some of the things that I was learning and digging into, and the questions I had and stuff, and just digging into. I mean, every time I get into these materials that we have from Frank R. Wallace and Mark Hamilton, I get exhilarated. I love reading, and I learn something new each time I get into it. So that's what I've been doing with my spare time that I have. I still go to work and take care of my dad and stuff, but that's what I'm doing with the time. It's like, oh well, I have a few minutes here. I have an hour or two here. Let's dig into the material.
It shows, Karen. It's so awesome being around, hearing you, and that exhilaration just naturally comes.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
And you know, the other thing is, when you look at what's going on right now, okay, and you look around, the thing is to look as we've all been taught. And I was talking to my kids today about this, because we're battling on certain things back and forth. And I was saying you have to look past appearances, as what Miss Annabelle taught her kids. You remember this? The kids was the see-through appearances, and that was something we was talking about this morning. How do you see through the appearance to see for what is? And when you look past this and see, as Neil thinks, and start to look into the future, because you are looking at this information. And you got to remember, out of all these crises, if you go back, at any time in history, it's always been business that has come forward, what we learn about, that starts to set the tone. And we've been talking about jobs of the mind. What's here? This is exciting. This is where you start to use your mind, create what you want. But you can't do it if you're not vibrating high. Unless you have to disconnect. You have to disconnect from that anti-civilization, and you've been being trained to do that in this literature. And this is a wonderful time to do that. And that's what we were so excited about, this morning, because, when something don't go right, you say, oh, wow, man, this is exciting. It's like on a roller coaster. You're going, down. You know you ain't going to crash because you're on a roller coaster. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you swoop and you come back up, So, that's how you have to look at, what's going on right now. I don't care, don't buy into it. I said this morning that the doctor said, hey, Mr. Johnson, now, your arm's getting ready to fall off. I'm going to say, no, it's not. My arm's not going to fall off. I'm going to have to be walking down the street, and so, damn, my arm just fell off. He was right. But until then, no, it's not. I ain't got it. I don't have it. Ain't going to have it. That's
near me. Not coming
That's
near
right.
me.
Exactly.
And that's the attitude. And that's the attitude you have to have, because if you're afraid of it, it's fear just draws in whatever you're afraid of. It brings that energy in, and you have to have a different energy. You repel it. You repel the disease. You repel the fear.
Yeah.
So
When you're going to do something. Oh, yeah. Go on, Charlie.
That's all right. Yeah, I'm back. I hit the wrong button again. One of these years, I'm getting used to this technology. But, yeah, I was thinking, one of these days. But as I was sitting here this afternoon, and I was going over a few things here and planning out the week, and I'm saying, a lot of us are single. There's a lot of single people here. So if we're stranded in our house most of the time, obviously we have more time. We're not running around. We're not doing this. We're not doing that. Well, now we can't. There's nothing open, hardly. I mean, I went for a walk today, and I drove only about a quarter of a mile to get to this track. I thought I was like the only person left on Earth. There was nobody on the highway at all, and I'm saying, whoa, this is really strange. But anyway, if we have this extra time, when is a better time to start really digging into neothing? If not now, when? Why are we doing neothing to begin with? And I tell you, it does affect you. Friday, I think it was. I hadn't been out like all week. I hadn't been around people in a while, so I'm staying with Casey here, and it's just been me and her talking, back and forth when we see each other, because I've been kind of busy last week. So, but if we hadn't been out in the store or anything, and we had to go pick up some fruits and vegetables, so we went to this place called Produce Junction. And that's all they sell, is fruits and vegetables. And when we got there, it was like Friday afternoon or something, I think it was, and it wasn't that crowded. So I thought, this is great. So we go in there, there's about 5 people in the whole store. But then as we were, picking up everything, it started to get a little more crowded. And then it got a little more crowded. And then it hit me. I was like feeling kind of nervous or something. I said, what the heck's going on with me, And I think, and the first thing hit me was, I wasn't used to being around people. I mean, so weird, but when you haven't done it for like 2 weeks, it really feels kind of weird to be around people. And then it got a little more crowded, and then I started to feel like this fear or something. And I said, what am I doing here? Why am I having this fear? I'm not going to catch no, I'm staying away from these people, and I start getting back into neothing. I start getting back into my mind, not that AC mind, not the bicameral mind. And I slipped back, and it was really, it really kind of ticked me off that I could do it that fast sometimes. So when you're home, and if you're getting little cabin fever, and there's so many ways for us to keep focused on what we want to accomplish, to keep us positive, to keep us moving forward all the time. And that's why I haven't talked about the reach out program, and sometime tonight we will talk about that in more detail. Because when is a better time now to reach out to people? Almost everybody's home.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So you can get some great
conversations.
Really, it's so, so there's all different ways for you, man. But go to one part of one of these books that you haven't really studied that much yet, or that you're not sure what they really mean, and challenge yourself. And just start reading it, and just start taking some notes down or something, and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna figure out this. And that's the only way that we can really do it, is to challenge ourselves. So then, if you start to read it and you are picking up some things about it, that's great. And then maybe there are some other things. So then, when you're all done, and say, you know what, I think I got about 80% of this, but there's still like 20%. Start calling other members. See who can help you with that. You can call anybody. So, but take that step. Force yourself to read it. Force yourself to study it. And all of a sudden, time goes by a lot quicker then, but you're going to feel better. You're not going to feel lonely. You're not going to feel depressed. And it kept you away from the TV for a couple hours maybe, to hear about how bad everything is. So you got the time. There's no excuses now. Get back into NeoThink. A lot of people are on this call tonight. We've got about 30 more than normal, which is great. Thank you. But we all should be on this call. These numbers this should be an off night. Because look at this. Look at this world, people. If this world doesn't need NeoThink today, it never will. This is scary stuff out there. And how do we get through it? We don't participate. So when we say that we don't participate in the AC world, it's basically saying, this virus is not going to affect me. It's not going to enter my body. And that's
right.
You've got it. Go ahead. Yeah. Open. It's open up here, people. Anybody can talk here. So and there's 7 of us. So
Charlie,
speak
I was
up.
thinking about. Hello.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Larry.
Oh, I'm
Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. I was remember something we talked about this morning. About how the seniors who they've cut off from their families, and I remember hearing the guy going and singing to his wife who he couldn't go see in the nursing home, but every day he goes to the window and sings to her. Those kind of creative things that you watch how creative people will become now, and we are at the forefront. Because see, every time you read, all you got to do is read a page of literature, 1 or 2 pages. You can read the same thing again. All it does is put you in another time and space as a person where you get an aha moment. You get a 10-second miracle. People are going to be able to really know what it is to use your mind to create in your life and keep smiling. And when you come on these calls, you have such a high tone from these people because you're done moved into another dimension. See? All this here, everything is going to be reset. Everything going forward will be reset. So now, the question is, will you be, as a NeoThink person, vibrating at a higher level and laughing and having fun, and the child of the past is making you young? I don't care if you're 9, 99, or 109. But that you are going to say, I'm creating, I'm integrating with reality because I'm NeoThink. And that's the challenge. That's the challenge for all of us. To do that now. We're at home. You can only go out. You can go walking. The only thing they ain't told us is to put 12 feet between you and whoever you may be, your partner at home or your significant other. That's the only other thing, that they said, okay? But we have our minds, and our minds is more powerful. And once you remove the impurities, as Dr. Wallace said, there will be an explosion. You'll start to have those aha moments. And that's why we constantly stress digging into the literature, read it, call somebody up on the Reach Out program as a buddy. This is a good time now to do that, because we was looking forward to San Diego, but guess what? We have to change that now, to move that back, So if you hear, listen to these things and let the self-leader in you come out and move forward in a real dynamic way while you at home. You can't go nowhere. And the key thing is, we talked about how we need to stay safe. And a lot of things they're talking about, you do that anyway. You know, those are just natural things you do. You don't go to the bathroom without washing your hands. You know. So, you know.
Anybody else have anything to say on that? Go ahead, Sage.
No, it makes me think of so many things. And I was hearing a great, it was a speaker that I listened to who's totally neo-think also, and he was talking about the river, our bodies. This was specifically about biological immortality and physically keeping together, which again also in this time is you have a little more time to keep yourself busy just by, even if you're indoors, I think you can creatively do some things you might not have done before, even physically, to get healthier rather than being so busy all the time and not having the time. It's kind of scary because now you do have time, just like you were saying, Charlie, about reading the books. And what are you going to do with it now that you actually have the time and you wish you didn't have the time? And it was back to how it was sometimes, which is crazy. But
if you have more time to fix your own food because you're not going out to the restaurants and stuff.
Exactly.
And you have more time to make your smoothies and all this stuff that it takes a little time, but you have the extra time now to do that.
Isn't that awesome? And
feed your body, yeah.
Yeah, and that will help you mentally, yeah, and physically that's a part of it. It's we're integrating all the things, and that's a piece of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. And you'll feel differently.
Yeah.
You'll be
good
less
piece of the
depressed.
immune system puzzle.
Who cares about a virus when you're functioning at your tip-top shape? It's that virus will be scared of you with all the things you do.
Look at it this way too. For those people who have not either have tried to do the mini-day schedule and failed, or haven't tried it at all, when a better time now than to start doing some mini-days? Especially if you're not used to the time off. Now, I know there's a couple people on this call who have, sent me some emails and said, Charlie, this is what I'm doing because I got laid off. And some of them really had some very aggressive plans on reading neo-think and reading a few other books and doing this and doing that. I was very impressed by some of these people, what they're doing, because they have the time now. So it's depressing to watch the news about this. I've watched it maybe every day, like when Trump comes on, because I just want to catch some of it. I don't watch the whole on that because he's on for a while on his updates. But how I look at this is this man staying positive, and people aren't used to seeing politicians be that way, and I still don't think he is that much. But, I hate to see where we would be if we had a politician in the White House right now instead of a businessman. He has shined through this, I think. The things that they're getting done, but he's looking into the future. And there has been no politicians ever who had visions, who could see the future, or the future that they wanted for this country. And they're having a hard time passing this bill that they want to pass because the Democrats want to do this, and they want to basically bail out everybody. And Trump wants to really do is to send, and for business needs money, to set them up on a loan where they actually pay it back to the government.
Yeah.
Which is only a businessman would come up with something like that. Instead of us getting in more and more debt, but he also wants to make sure, he has this 15-day plan. He's about halfway through it. I don't know if he's going to hit it at the end of this 15, but I think if he does another 15 days, I think he will. But he wants to get this under control as soon as possible. And then he's balancing the health side, he's balancing the money side, but he's looking at the money side saying, I don't want these businesses to go bankrupt. I don't want them to go out of business during this time. Because as soon as we get control of this virus, he says we can turn this economy around like in 2 days because the businesses stayed open. And all of a sudden they can open up again. Mm-hmm. And he's so concerned about that because who wants to go through a depression in this country or the slow recovery when we could almost go back to normal within a month or something?
Yeah.
So it's incredible to see how his mind's working on this. Oh, he's so different. It's such a refreshing change of pace to see somebody say, you know what, we got this problem. Now let's solve the damn thing. And he's got all these, and he's bringing up all these people. The guy from the NIH, the National Institute of Health, and FEMA, and all these people coming up there every day. And these people look like they're ready to go to sleep for about a year because he has them stepping every day. But yet
Trying to keep up with his schedule.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Could you picture Joe Biden doing this, or anybody from the other side? Or even, can you picture anybody on the Republican side doing this besides Trump? No. We have been. He has saved this country so far because he beat Hillary, and now he's. I think he's going to pull this off. I have a lot of faith in him. I really think he's going to pull this off a lot better than anybody will give him credit for. Because one thing it's nice to see a president who cares for the citizens. And I've always believed Trump always cares. I mean, I've known Trump since I was about 18 years old, I think, because, I'm not that far from New York City. And we heard about Trump around this area forever, But you always hear these stories that, like when he was in a construction site because he's building a new building or something, the workers love him on a whole because he talks to them and he knows them. Even though he's worth a lot of money, he knows what the common guy is going through. And he does care. He wants everybody to survive this. He wants everybody, let's face it, we all had jobs. Everybody has a job here. When was that time so that's the kind of thing that we can do ourselves here now for us. Step away from the TV before someone gets hurt.
Hey, yes. Step away from the TV. You got my attention. Anyway, I wanted to share something real quick, Charlie, about what's going on out here in the world right now with the individuals. I guess I want to take it to the individual level right now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I want to share an experience I have. Because I'm hot on the mind with it. This week I had an experience. I'm going to call it an experience. At first, I was pissed at myself. I took on 100% responsibility and said, well, I should have went to the bank, or I should have not left so much of my identity in my car. It just so happened that somebody came by where I live, and they robbed a few cars, which they robbed me of my ID and everything like that. So it was like it was a situation I got caught up in with my neighbors because they got their cars broken into too. So it wasn't just me. But the more that I thought about it, and when I took on the responsibility of it, I said, wait a minute, I have to turn this around because right now what's going on out there is it's time for the neo-think to move forward and our mindset. It's time for us to evolve. And I thought, well, my roommate, he had $1,000 worth of tools in his car because he got laid off. And I guess they didn't have a master lock to get into that. So what I'm trying to wrap this around to say is, because of something that happened to me in a negative, I was being a Dr. Wallace, and I removed the negative and said, wait a minute, why? Something happened to me. Wait a minute, something happened to me. So what do I have to do? I have to look at who am I going to meet now? What am I going to do? Because I have to do other solutions. So I went to the police department, and they were closed. I went to the DMV, and it was closed. So I'm like, I went online to try to get a duplicate ID, but it won't let me. So I said, guess what? I have a passport. I'm just going to drive around where I need to go. See, I haven't let it affect me because I'm like, no, wait a minute. What happened to me, because like Charlie and you were putting out earlier, we have members that are home alone. And I have a friend that her friend got robbed by gunpoint in her house of all her food. So there's things going on, and I thought, wait a minute. I got this happen to me for a reason so I can help others say, hey, let's be aware of what's going on and be more cautious. So if it costs me a little money and my ID and a little bit of aggravation and maybe a little bit of work, so be it. I've been in my essence all day since the call this morning. I prepared breakfast and we're remodeling stairs. I'm here with my good friend that she's always in liking my neo-think, and we got stairs remodeled. We're doing our essences. We're creating. We're not letting things get to us. And I've been on the call with members. So I just wanted to share all that real quick. So I'll jump out.